The invention of the record. The very first record was created way back in 1857 by a French scientist called Leon Scott. He was able to record sound onto paper which had been blackened with black candle wax. This amazing invention was known as a phonoautograph. 20 years later, Thomas Edison created the phonograph when he recorded sound onto wax cylinders. Then in 1887, 10 years later, Emil Berliner adapted Edison's idea to put sound onto a flat wax disc, and the LP was born. The music cassette. The cassette tape was originally used for recording dictations in offices. However, in 1964, it was started to be used to bring music to the public. Between the early 1970s and the late 1990s, the cassette was one of the two common formats for pre-recorded music alongside the LP. The compact disc was released in 1983, and by the early 1990s, sales of CDs had overtaken that of cassettes. The Jackie Wilson song, Reet Petite, was originally released in 1957, but did not reach #1 in the UK charts until 1986, 29 years later and 42 days after the original release. To win a gold disc, an album needs to sell 100,000 copies in Britain and 500,000 in the United States. 40 billion songs are downloaded illegally every year. That's some 90% of all music downloads. The music industry generates about 4 billion in online music, but lose about 40 billion into illegal downloads. The Star-Spangled Banner became the U.S. national anthem in 1931. Prior to that, it was My Country 'Tis of Thee, which had the same melody as Britain's national anthem, God Save the Queen, which is based on music written by John Bull in 1619. Bull's melody has been used more than any song in the national anthems. Elvis Presley. Elvis' favorite collectibles were official badges. He collected police badges in almost every city he performed in. Elvis was an avid gun collector. His collection of 40 weapons included M16s and a Thompson submachine gun. The world's largest disco was held at the Buffalo Convention Center in New York, 1979. 13,000 danced to place into the Guinness Book of World Records. The Beatles holds the top spot of album sales in the US, 106 million, followed by Garth Brooks second, 92 million, Led Zeppelin, 83 million, Elvis Presley, 77 million, and the Eagles, 65 million. Worldwide, the Beatles sold more than 1 billion records. The LP, long playing record, was invented by Paul Goldmark in 1948. The LP is not dead yet. More than 10 million LPs are sold every year. The longest song to reach #1 on the Billboard charts on LP was I'd Do Anything for Love, But I Won't Do That by Meatloaf. The Shortest Stay by Maurice Williams and the Zodiacs. The first pop video was Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, released in 1975. The Beatles song, Martha My Dear, was written by Paul McCartney about his sheepdog, Martha. Since its launch in 1981, the song Memory of the Musical Cats has been played on radio more than 1 million times. U2 was originally known as Feedback. To date, U2 have sold more than 70 million records, grossing $1.5 billion.